Hey, my name's Jonathan, and I'm a veteran.
Hi, my name is Daryl, and I'm a veteran.
My name is Chad, and I'm a veteran.
Hey, I'm Travis. I'm an Air Force veteran.
Hi, my name's Ashley, and I'm a veteran.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with a Vet. My name is Carolee, and I have a absolutely wonderful guest waiting in the wings at the moment, backstage. So I am not going to take up much time here. His time is limited, so we want to make sure that we stick to that as best we can. But before we start, just a little reminder of a few books that we have that are from current veterans. If you haven't picked them up, I believe every one of these is listed out there on Amazon. The first I've got is Donald Dunn, Echoes of War. That is the silent transformation of a soldier. Rich LaMonica, Out of the Darkness. We also have Lee Deckelman's book, Internal Volume. And this is actually being rewritten as I speak. So hopefully that will be out for publication before too long. I have Jason Lee Morrison's The Perfect Fucking Life. That is an anthology. And then Rich LaMonica also has the 13-Step Guide to Success, as well as Richard Fleek's From Sailor to Backyard Cook. Now, interestingly enough, every recipe in here is a veteran's recipe. So, or at least provided to Richard for this cookbook. And then any proceeds from this book go to his nonprofit, which is called Minutes Wisely, where he takes first responders, veterans, active duty, military, and Gold Star families to different sporting events, and he escorts them to their seats. So such a wonderful nonprofit right there. So waiting in the wings very graciously is Scotty Hasting. He is an artist, songwriter, as well as an Army veteran. So please say hello to Scotty. Hello there. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't thank you enough. I'm really honored to have you on the show today. And I know you are very busy, so it means a lot that you could take that time out. You've got some great people that are working with you today.
100%. Yeah.
Well, more than just today, but yeah, everybody's very kind.
Yes, yes, they are. They have become family,
which is what you need, right?
100%.
I mean, so I'm going to kind of jump in if you're ready.
Absolutely.
And feel free. I know we've got a limited amount of time, but if you want to hit the highlights, that's perfectly acceptable. If there's something that you want to delve in a little deeper to, you can do that as well. So this is completely your platform, and you say it however you care to. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So the first question I ask every guest: tell me a little bit about your childhood.
I grew up in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. My parents were divorced, but I have a younger brother, and my childhood was awesome. I mean, we played sports growing up, football, baseball, and basketball.
And out of those, what was your favorite sport?
Oh, baseball.
Excellent.
Baseball, at one point in time, I was actually getting paid to play baseball, and not much, but I lived the dream for a little bit,
Hey, that's all right. And what position did you play?
First base.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That takes a lot, let me tell you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was great, and then I had a family that I had to help, raise and support, and that was not paying the bills.
Yeah, I can imagine that would not, especially in the minors. Were you minor league?
It was an independent league.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't. It didn't. I didn't get paid at all. Not even a little bit.
What was your education like?
Education was good. I went to high school, college, eventually graduated college after in the military, I graduated college, but
Okay, but still. So
yeah,
would you consider yourself studious?
no, probably not. Probably not. No, I don't know. I feel like I learn more from life than I could have ever learned from being in a classroom. Um, I definitely have learned a lot from life. I've been through a lot of it and I've lived a lot of it. So, but yeah, I enjoyed school. And
Ish.
I enjoyed playing sports in school. Uh,
Well, that
not
counts.
a huge fan of school, but yeah,
That counts.
there's a
So
means to an end.
that's right. So what was it that made you decide you were going to go into the military and the army specifically?
Yeah, so like I said, I was playing baseball at the time. I wasn't making any money. I had a family that I had to support, and I kind of had this feeling, this want, this need to be a part of something bigger than myself. I wanted to do something that meant something, and baseball wasn't it. And of course, I wasn't getting paid enough to support my family, and I knew I needed something. And
Right.
I went and just met with a recruiter and started talking to them. For me, it was the Army, and it was specifically the infantry, because when I thought about being in the military, to me, a soldier was the one that was in the Army and he was fighting. Like, that's what I thought a soldier was. That's all I saw when I thought about a soldier. No disrespect to any of the other jobs out there. Everyone wants to do what they want to do, and everyone has a place in a job. But for me, it was Army infantry. Like, that was, to me, growing up, like, that's what a soldier was, and that's what I wanted to do. So when it came down to it and it was time for me to sign on the dotted line, there was no question what I wanted to do.
That's excellent to know specifically and stick with
Yeah.
that goal. That's excellent.
Thank
Um, and so you went to basic training,
you. Mhm.
and how was that? Any funny stories that you can
Man,
recall?
yeah. So it was, basic training is super easy, right? Like,
Well, if you're athletic,
I
especially.
mean, it's just like you get told where to go, how to do it, when to do it, what to wear when you're doing it. And like, you meet some incredible people, some of the smartest people I've ever met in the military and in basic training, but also some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. Like, people that you look at them and you're like, how have you survived this long?
That's
Um,
fair.
but there's just so many things that you're just like, what? Especially because when I joined the military, I was 21. I was old. I was the old man, which is such a wild thought.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and you really see some winners, and yeah,
That
yeah.
just cracks me up because I've heard stories. I have two Marine sons.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I've heard the stories and all the way around, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of all three.
100%. Yes.
So funny stories. What do you have? Do you have any off the top of your head that you can think of basic training?
Yeah. So off the top of my head, so in basic training, we had a little person that wanted to be an infantryman.
And when
And
you say little person, how short would you anticipate they were? Like
he
under
was
5 feet?
he was like officially a midget. I don't know if that's the
Okay.
correct word that we can say. Uh,
It's your show.
yeah. Okay. So he was. I mean, he was a midget. He was, and there was a moment in time where he was just dead set. Thankfully, I was not a part of his squad. Thank God. Because I was the PL for our bay, and there was that my buddy was a PL of his squad that was there, his platoon,
Right.
and so he comes running up to me into my bay, and he's like, "Scotty, you have to come downstairs. You have to come downstairs. I don't know what to do. So this guy, the midget, the smaller guy, the
You can call him a little person.
little
How's that?
person.
You look a little uncomfortable when you say that word.
It's weird. It's a weird thought. But so the little person, he decided that he was going to get his phone back from the drill sergeant's office, and he decided to get up into the ceiling and do it. And really just one of the smartest ideas that anyone could have. So he got above the drill sergeant's office, and the ceiling was like those office tiles that you can like lift up and see through it. So when they got above the drill sergeant's office, the whole ceiling collapsed, and he came falling from the roof onto the floor of the drill sergeant's office. So when I got there, I looked into the drill sergeant's office, and literally the whole ceiling was just hanging down from where he had fallen through this. And I immediately turned around and walked back upstairs and acted like I didn't see it at all.
You left the other one to deal with it.
I was not about to be any part of that whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, that is.
But it was the funniest thing ever. And the funniest part was like, imagine if there was a drill sergeant in there, right? Like there's a drill sergeant just laying on the couch, taking it easy, just trying to relax a little bit. And next thing you know, this little guy comes falling through the freaking roof. Like that would have been one of the funniest things to have ever seen.
Imagine the story though today, right?
Oh.
Like how big that story's blown up. I've no doubt, because I'm assuming he didn't last long.
No, he effectively got kicked out of the Army after that. But
yeah.
I could only like thank God there wasn't a drill sergeant in the office for that. But if there would have been, it would have been one of the funniest things. I think like I would have wished that I could have been in that room and just watched the reaction of a drill sergeant as this dude's falling from a roof or from the ceiling tiles. Like it would have been hilarious.
Oh wow. I can't even.
We all got in trouble for that. Even though I wasn't a part of it, we all got in trouble for it. So.
Yeah. You're a team, right? You kind of have to work together, and yeah, I get that. Mm-hmm. And so when you got through boot or basic training, I guess is what the Army calls it. What was your primary duty station?
My duty station was Fort Riley, Kansas. The big red one.
Okay. And what was your MOS?
11 Bravo.
Which is?
Infantry.
Excellent. Yes. Just making sure for those non-military people, and I'm still learning a lot about this too, right? So I know a lot of, what infantry is for the Marine Corps, which doesn't count for much because everybody's,
Oh man, if you ask a Marine, all of them are infantry.
Yeah. Every one of them's a rifleman, 100%.
Oh gosh. Why are you messing with radios then?
Right, I know.
Wow. Why are you driving that truck then?
First and foremost, though, they're a rifleman. That's what it says. Before anything else, they're a rifleman. So
everyone's got to have a hobby, I guess, right?
Right, I know. I can't complain. I enjoy guns.
Right.
And so, okay, so you spent time there and in at your duty station. And how long were you there for?
I was there for about 4 weeks before we were in Afghanistan.
Okay.
It was very quick. When we were leaving, when I was graduating basic training, they were like, hey, Fort Riley is about to deploy. So more than likely, some of you are going to go to Fort Riley. And a lot of us did. And I was one of them. I was a little bit special in the sense that I got put with 4-4 Cav, which is a Cav Scout unit. So I was an infantryman with Cav Scouts, which honestly wasn't that bad. I got to play with a lot of cool stuff that the infantry didn't get to play with, like a Bradley fighting vehicle is a lot of fun. But we got a lot of cool things that the infantry didn't really get a hold of. And but yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And so what year did you deploy then to Afghanistan?
I deployed in 2011. It would have been December.
Okay. And that would have been for what was the campaign? Was there a campaign for that?
Enduring Freedom.
That one was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I lose track of time because I'm old.
Listen, I lose track of time too.
Well, yeah, well, you're busy. So, we got to give you props for that. My oldest actually was there.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
yeah, he was route clearance, as a matter of fact,
Oof,
from Montana National Guard.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys, man, we saw them every day. They would come down up by our cop and do like a little circle and drive right back on up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they were
hopefully he'll be on the show on the 30th since he just got out. So but imagine going from a soldier to a Marine.
Yeah. That's it's a different world.
Oh yeah, he's got some interesting stories there.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So when you were in Afghanistan, did you eat any of the food or did you just do the MREs?
No, we did MREs for the most part. We did at one point. We had a grill that was left there from the 101st, which was amazing. Thank you to them. So at one point in time, we were able to like grill some food, and then we ran out of food, and then eventually the grill got hit with an RPG somehow, and it was gone. But yeah, so we had a grill for a little bit, but for the most part, we ate MREs. I actually lived on Pop-Tarts for a long time, so
I have
we
heard
love
that from a couple different veterans that has
Mhm.
said the same thing. Like
Yeah.
that was their food of choice.
Absolutely. I would get boxes of Pop-Tarts sent to me. I don't know. It was like a little taste of home.
Well, and it was sweet too, right? So you
Yes.
had that little sweetness that most military members kind of crave.
Yep.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So while you were there, you were infantry.
Mhm.
Um, kind of explain what your experience was. Like when you first stepped off the plane and into Afghanistan, what kind of thoughts were going through your head?
Yeah. I mean, it was, you don't really, you train for it, and especially your first deployment. There's people who understand more because they've been deployed multiple times. But for me, it was, I was there. It wasn't that big of a deal. I was just in Kandahar, and we were training more and stuff like that. And then we went to the COP where we were going to be, and it really doesn't sink in until you get shot at the first time, and then it's kind of like, holy crap, something's happening. Like this is actually like,
You're in it.
this is dangerous. Like there's
Yeah.
a chance that like something bad could actually happen. But I don't think you really realize that until you really get in a firefight or until you really get shot at. And then that's when I think for me, that was kind of what happened. It was just kind of, we flew into Kandahar, and then it was like, okay, well, you're going to learn how to, operate this Valen, which is the metal detector that we had. So it was like flying to Kandahar, train some more, and then eventually you get to your COP. And then when we got to the COP, when we took fire for the first time and got in a firefight, that's when I was like, oh, this is real. But yeah.
And was it instinctive to shoot back?
Yeah. I mean, I think
There was no like that flight moment, right?
no, not for me. I think everyone's different.
Mhm.
I know that we had a couple that at first were kind of like hesitant about it. They hesitated a little bit, but eventually, I mean, your want and your need to protect the guys next to you outweighs any other thought at that point.
And they've done a good job in training you for that,
Oh, absolutely.
right? And protecting
100%.
your brothers and sisters and working
Yep.
together. So that's good. And how long were you over there?
I was there for like 3 months. So from January-ish, I think January is when we actually ended up getting there. So January into April 21st, 2011 was when I was shot.
Okay. And so how did that happen?
So we were on patrol, going to a suspected bomb maker's hut to get information. And really, I just walked up on a guy who happened to be standing behind a wall with a firearm. He had he had a PKM behind his back that he was holding onto that I didn't see. And then so I saw him, I looked at him, and he looked just like everybody else who just kind of looks at you like you don't belong there, because that's exactly
Right.
how the Afghan people look at you. And so I didn't think anything of it. I went back to doing my Valen operation of trying to find IEDs in the ground, and I saw him move really quick. And when I saw him move really quick, something inside me clicked, and I dropped my Valen and I kind of squared up to him to grab my rifle. And by the time I had grabbed my rifle, he had already started firing, and he kind of hit me from my left thigh into my left hip and across my body. Luckily, I still had the rifle across my chest because 2 rounds went through the rifle, through the plates, and I had bruises on my chest. But I ended up getting shot 10 times. So 5 times in the shoulder, 4 times in the hip, and then once in the thigh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine had you not had, well, you said they went through the plate.
Yeah. Well, not all the way through, but they were
Dimpled.
enough to leave a bruise. There was enough of a tip through the plates to leave a bruise.
So fortunate. Oh my gosh. And do you recall anything about the evac?
Yeah, I remember all of it. I was alive and alert through the whole thing. The only thing that did happen is eventually I started losing so much blood that my eyesight started shutting down. So like it kind of became like a white film, which to me, whenever you hear people talk about like seeing the light, that's kind of what I, kind of equate that to. Is that was like the thought and the idea of seeing the light was that white like haze almost that comes over your eyes whenever they shut down from losing so much blood. So
yeah, and that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the recovery like for you?
The recovery is still technically ongoing. I mean, I don't think it ever stops, but I went from there to Walter Reed, and I was at Walter Reed for a month, inpatient. And that was like going every other day to get my wounds cleaned out. They would put me to sleep for that. So it kind of like became kind of just like a dream, almost like a haze with like little moments of clarity. But yeah, so that, and then about 6-ish months of outpatient stuff. So we would still live on site at Walter Reed, but we were in like a little dorm room, me and my family. So we would be there, and then I would literally that was my job, to go to appointments.
And so you're married at this time.
Mm-hmm.
How would your wife handle this? I mean, she had to have
honestly,
been an absolute trooper.
She was a trooper, man. She put in the work to try to help me. She pushed me to get off of some of the meds that I was on, and pushed me to, I had to relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to do everything from being right-handed, because I have nerve damage in my right hand. So I had to learn how to do everything left-handed. So she really pushed to help me do that, and to help me, and to help me be the best me that I could be. And then at the same time, she was, taking care of the family, and she eventually had gotten pregnant, and we were, it was a lot, and she was a trooper, and she really, she helped out a lot.
Excellent. It sounds like, yeah, she's just an amazing woman. So one of the questions that I was going to ask is, how has it been for you with PTSD, and transitioning into civilian life? How was that for you?
It was really hard. The military tries their best. They give you all these PowerPoints. They talk to you about, the transition and all this other stuff, but they don't truly show you how many hours are in the day. They don't truly show you, like, when you get out, now you're going to have to figure out all these other responsibilities. You're going to have to figure out this and that. And they don't really, there's only so much that they can talk to you about. And there's only so much that you can learn from a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
But, I think, it's I mean, it's hard, how do you go? How as from the Army standpoint, it's hard to be like, hey, this is what you have to look forward to. Like everyone's different. Like you don't
Right.
know. But yeah, I mean, PTSD, depression, anxiety is still something that I deal with on a daily basis. I mean, that never went away and it never will. And, I've just been so incredibly lucky and blessed to find an outlet that I can use with music. Music has become my outlet for my PTSD, depression, and anxiety. It's become my escape and my sense of peace.
And that's actually that's a great way to segue into your music. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Uh,
So, um, have you always been a singer?
yeah, I've been singing since I was a little kid. I was in like choirs and stuff like that in church. I feel like every country music artist is like, oh yeah, I got started in church, but I really did. And but it's funny. My mom always said that I was in a good place when I was singing. Like that was always like my happy spot. My happy place was when I was singing. So it was always kind of like a hobby that I just did when I was in the car. It was never anything that I ever thought would be a thing.
Right.
And yeah, but I've been singing for a very long time.
Which is excellent. And I've heard some of your music. So you have a new album. Yes?
Yeah, I just dropped an EP about 4 weeks ago.
And that is called I'm America. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So that is out there. And where exactly can they hear that music?
Anywhere you get music, anywhere you listen to music, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere you get music. There's even some of them that I don't know how to pronounce. So yeah, anywhere you get your music, it's there.
I have just started. I did a kind of a dry run for Semperfi Radio through Veteran Voice Radio. So it's kind of an offshoot for them. And so, yeah, a lot of country. So you're on there.
Hey, love that.
You're definitely on there. I've seen here that you have been on Good Morning America, and America's Newsroom. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I have. America's Newsroom was really cool. It's funny. I went to New York and did all that. That was wild. That was the first time I'd ever actually really been able to like and see New York. I mean, I've been there, but it was kind of like, yeah. Anyways, I got to go downtown New York. I got to go Times Square.
Times Square.
Times Square. Thank you so much.
I got you back.
Words sometimes just stop.
My son says words are hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Words are hard. But yeah, so I went to Times Square. It was a really cool experience. I've been in a bunch of different like studios, but I've never been in one that was in like a skyscraper. That was a whole new experience. It was so cool. But yeah, that was really cool. Good Morning America was amazing because I got to meet my hero and my inspiration for falling in love with music, and not just country music, but all of music.
And that was a question. So yes, and that would be.
I got to meet Garth Brooks. And the cool part was like, I met him and I was like, hey, I'm a huge fan. Like your music is the foundation of my childhood. Like I've been listening to you for my whole life. Like you're the reason why I fell in love with music. And he's like, oh man, thank you so much. I was like, my name's Scotty Hasting. Like, thank you. He said, Scotty Hasting. He said, like, I'm America's Scotty Hasting. And I said, what? What? Like, what? And he was like, and I was like, yeah, that's my song. And inside I'm like, Garth Brooks listens to my music. I'm like, oh, Garth Brooks, like, that's crazy. But yeah, and he was like, man, I love that song. Like, that's a great song. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild. And then another amazing part of that day was we were on Good Morning America and they asked me to ask him a question. Like if you had the opportunity to ask Garth a question, what would it be? So I asked him a question and it was basically like, hey, if you could go back in time to before you started music, like what would you tell yourself? Like what would be what would you tell yourself as a kid, as a younger guy before you started music? And his was like, just you're not that good at sports, so stop doing that and focus on music. And I was like, okay. And then something happened, and he was like, what? Anyways, I basically was kind of like, yeah, I had the same. He talked about how he wanted sports to be his world, like that was going to be his career, and I was like, same, except the military. Like the military is what I wanted to do forever. Like that was my career. And then getting shot a bunch of times, that kind of changed, and now I'm a recording artist. And when I said that, Garth Brooks was like, yeah, and this guy right here can sing his ass off. And I said, shut up. Like, what?
Like, did you say that?
My soul like left my body in that moment. And I was like, holy shit.
Did you actually say shut up?
No.
Okay, so it was just internalized.
In my mind, I was freaking out.
I was like, you just told Garth Brooks to shut up.
No, God, no. But no, it was like my soul left my body. And then I was just, I was like, did he really just say that? And now, like, it's funny, like I have since like just taken a screenshot of that moment when he says, oh yeah, he can sing his ass off. It is funny. We joke here at Black River, we joke all the time, like we're just going to randomly place it into songs from now on. Because Garth Brooks saying, oh yeah, he can sing his ass off too.
Yeah, why not? I think that's excellent.
It was such an incredible experience, because it's just like, I mean, what an endorsement, from someone whose music I grew up listening to, an absolute, not only a legend, but someone who will live forever in this industry, and whose music will live forever. But, it's just, he's larger than life, and everyone knows who he is. And to be able, my hero, or, my hero in this industry, my hero in music, and to hear him be like truly endorse what I was doing, it was really like, it was super humbling. And it was really like, wow, this is incredible. And in that moment, I looked at, so we had a lot of people from Black River that were there, and I looked at them and I said, listen, I can retire now. I'm good. I don't need anything else. Like I'm good now.
You got it all, right? You got the praise, you got the acknowledgement, and
yeah. But it was incredible. It really was.
I think that's awesome. Now you've also opened up for Tanya Tucker, Jelly Roll, Chris Jansen. Gosh, who else we got?
Parmalee, Dave Grohl, which was
Dave Grohl.
Wild. Yeah, I have been incredibly lucky and blessed to be able to do what I get to do. Dave Grohl was the first person I ever opened for, which really made me fall in love with the performance, the live performance. To watch him play, like it was just me and him it was before the Super Bowl. Remember, I think what was that, like 2 years ago, at the Super Bowl in Arizona. And he was all over the Super Bowl. So we played this little acoustic performance. I played a little set. He played a little set. But it was just acoustic. It was me and him. And I got the opportunity to like go off stage and stand off to the side, and to watch the way that he interacts with the crowd, and the way that he plays, and the way that he feeds off of the crowd. Like, in that moment, I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to do that. Like, cause it was so magical to see like the way that he would like throw himself out there, and then the crowd would throw it back at him, and you could see it and you could feel it. And I was like, man, like that's incredible. Like what I'm looking at right now is how a performer performs. And that was like really, truly like the one thing that I was like, truly made me fall in love with performing and connecting with people on that level. And the way that he was able to do it, it was just like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be Dave Grohl,
right. Yeah. It sounds like you absolutely have had just an incredible journey through your life.
I have been. It has been an absolute hell of a ride, and we're really just getting started, which is the craziest part of all of it. Everyone here at the label is like, "Oh man, we're just starting." Yeah. I'm like, God, man, like we're just getting started. Like this is already too wild. Like I don't know what else can we do.
There's
and
a lot.
yeah, and we're doing it, and we have a lot of really cool things coming up that I never thought were gonna be a thing or possible. And I'm so blessed to be able to do what I get to do. And I'm so blessed to just be breathing, let alone be able to be on stages with 5,000 people, or be on a stage in Normandy, France for the 80th anniversary of D-Day in front of
Yes.
20,000 people. Like,
How was that, by the way?
oh, it was one of, if not the greatest experiences that I've ever had or ever been able to be a part of. It was so incredible. Yeah, I don't, it's so hard still to find words for what happened. I mean, it was just such a magical experience being able to be with the World War II vets, and being able to be around the French people, and how much they were just so appreciative of America, and and just how much like the freedom meant to them. And you really saw it, and it was truly incredible. It really was.
I'm just so excited for you to have had that opportunity, and what's to come, right?
Oh man, we have so much coming. July 3rd, I will be in Schulzburg, Wisconsin. I'm opening for Chris Lane.
Wow.
Yeah, it's their 4th of July celebration that they do every year. It's gonna be really big. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. And then I'm coming back here to Nashville, July 4th. I'm playing a smaller, little intimate show ish at a place called Bar Lines down here, and then just so much more coming up that I can't share yet, but
Fair.
will be.
That's fair. I don't want to get you in trouble.
There's one thing that's absolutely huge, but I can't share it yet. No matter how hard you try, I'm not going to do it.
I know. You've got someone going, oh, no,
I know.
Right? I know.
Yeah, they don't put me in a room in these interviews by myself anymore, because they stop me now, because I am great at leaking my own stuff. Like, I will leak something and not even think about it, and then everyone's like, "Hey, hello, like you can't say that. Like, that's not out there yet."
Right? Yeah.
But there is something very big coming, and it is going to be announced either this week or next week. And
so without telling me what it is, so it's going to be announced in the next couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And when does it anticipate like occurring? Can you say
I don't
that?
even know if I can say that. I don't even think I can say that.
Okay. No, I mean, since we don't know what it is, right? But just more curiosity, is it something in the like within the next couple of weeks that it's going to actually occur?
Yes, it's going to sometime within the next month-ish.
There. Okay. So for all the listeners out there, you really need to pay attention, and because I'm hoping that I can start getting some updates when it comes, because I am more than happy to put that out there for y'all.
Absolutely.
I know you're kind of short for time. I did want to talk a little bit about you're also an ambassador for Guitar for Vets.
Yes.
And I'm constantly looking for resources across the nation.
100%.
So what can you tell me about Guitars for Vets?
So Guitars for Vets is a organization that takes veterans and teaches them how to play the guitar. That's really the nuts and bolts. I mean, it's an incredible organization. I found an escape, and I found peace in learning how to play the guitar. And if I can do my part to try to help vets find that as well, then I want to do that. I partner with a lot of nonprofits because nonprofits saved my life, and I want to do my part as much as possible to help other veterans' lives be saved with nonprofits as well. And yeah, Guitars for Vets is one of them, and they are incredible, and they're teaching veterans new skills, and it's just it's really cool. It's really, we do, like, I'll go every once in a while to their meetings that they have, and just kind of sit back and watch, like, you can see the confidence build in these veterans, like veterans who just never thought in a million years they'd be able to do something, and then watching them like strum their first chord, and oh my God, that sounds like something, like that
Right?
sounds cool. Like, just to see that's confidence being built right there in that moment. Like, it's so powerful and it's so cool. And it's something that I was able to find. So watching someone else find it is just, it's such an incredible feeling.
And it's guitars and then the number 4 vets, right? And is it .org?
Sure. I think so.
Smile and nod. We'll go with that.
Sure. We can go with that.
Okay. And let's see. I'm going to put it up on the screen for anyone watching. So bear with me here a minute. While
hey, Jason, I'm sorry. Jason Hagstrom.
I
don't think you need tickets for the show on the 4th. Just come to Bar Lines. Right? Okay. So I got to ask my people.
Excellent. That would be my
come
husband.
To Bar Lines on the 4th. I will put something out here within the next couple of days that will give you more information. But yeah, just come to Bar Lines, man. Come hang out.
And that's excellent. That would be my husband. And so I actually it's so funny. He and I are just always on the same page because we're considering we're here in Tennessee. So
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, truly. So it's always nice. And now are you going to be at Hero Stock?
I am. I know. Listen, DJ, I have to ask my people because I am terrible at this. All right. But yes, I will be at Hero Stock. I'll be at the Nebraska one, and I'm headlining the Nebraska one, and I'm also headlining the Nashville one. So I will be doing 2 of them. I love Jason. I love the Hero Stock people. They're incredible. What they are doing, using music to bring all of these different resources together for veterans is so smart, and it's such a great idea. But yeah, DJ, Lincoln, Nebraska. It's in September, I think. All right, there you go. Omaha.
Perfect,
We're not
DJ.
too far. Let's go. DJ, I'm going to be headlining it, so come on.
And let me tell you, so DJ has been with me since like day one. Now I'm very small at this moment. I've only been doing this since October. So thank you for hanging out with me for a short bit because I'm like still the youngin' when it comes to the podcasting. Yeah. But so yeah, that's one of those. He has been with me since inception. Of course, Jason as well. And there's a lot that just unfortunately are still working. So, but this will be recorded for posterity.
Heck yeah. I love it.
And
I love it. It's going to be really cool looking a couple years down the road, see where you came from. So.
Exactly right. Not to mention you to see where you're at.
Well,
right. I mean, you got to plan, right? And you got to hope and dream and dream big.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, all right. Anybody else have any questions for Scotty? And
I just kind of like saw them and
no, that's excellent. I did have, so Jason did say, thank you for your service and your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I really do.
And what else we have? So as a reminder too, for anybody watching either in the live chats right now or for the future recording, please make sure that you subscribe if you would, because when we hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So
there we go.
Yeah. So got a few things that, from veterans. So I think a lot of people will be excited about that for some gifts. But in the meantime, let's see, I am not seeing anything right off. I know we're a little over our time, but I do want to say thank you. I know you are just absolutely crazy busy, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. And then I can look back when you're as big as Garth Brooks and I can say, I know him.
Well, the pleasure is mine completely. Thank you.
So, all right, everybody.
We'll just have to do this again.
That's right.
Get to where I'm Garth Brooks, it's not like we'll have to do this again for sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot harder to get a hold of you at that stage. So okay. So you tell your people, put my number in, and
yeah, they're sitting right here. So
I know it, right? They're all like, oh. So if you want to hang tight for me for just a minute, we're going to go ahead and get this wrapped up. Absolutely. Everybody, thank you guys for joining, and make sure, as I said, to go out and like, subscribe, and make sure to put a comment out there if you would, because that will definitely help me and the YouTube analytics stuff.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, everybody have a great one, and we will see you next Sunday.
Thank you so much.